Welcome back to Choketibu Media. The news of Bilikesu Olagunju, the care worker that maltreated a patient in the UK, keeps coming up all the time. Now, the news was mentioned in the papers yesterday, whereas the court judgment on this case came up on May 7th. So the case is not over yet. People are still talking about it, and I want us also to know what happened between the elderly man that Bilikesu Olagunju mistreated while on service. Nigerian care worker recorded mistreating an elderly man in the UK. Bilikesu Olagunju, a 42-year-old Nigerian care worker, was captured on CCTV mistreating an elderly man in his home in the UK. The footage revealed her grabbing and dragging the man on the floor. You will see it on the CCTV if I am able to play it for you. She admitted guilty to charges of willful neglect and abuse. Olagunju, who resides on Congress Road in Abbeywood, attended her sentences at Woolwich Crown Court on May 7th. There are a lot of reaction to this happening, but let me give you more details into this. The caregiver Olagunju, 42, has been on the job for just 6 days. Was caught on camera manhandling John Attard, 88, at his home in Bexley, Kent. A court heard that was on May 7th. The Nigerian carer has landed in trouble after she was caught on CCTV camera violently manhandling a frail elderly man with dementia. Our footage showed her hauling the man around just days before he died. So eventually the man died, and that was why the case was escalated. The carer, Bilikesu Olagunju, 42, who had been on the job for just 6 days. 6 days ni ọjọ́ mẹ́fà péré ni ọmọbìnrin yẹn fi wà lára ló fi wà ní iṣẹ́ yẹn tó fi ń treat man yẹn. Eventually the man just died. Was caught on camera manhandling John Attard, 88, at his home in Bexley, Kent. A court had the footage captured during the 45-minute visit shows the ordeal from which the great-grandfather never recovered. The footage captured during the 45-minute visit showed the ordeal from which the great-grandfather never recovered, according to his family. So the Daily Mail said that Olagunju, who at the time was employed by Unique Personnel UK, stripped Mr. Attard, threatened to beat him up, even dragging across his living room. Too bad. I mean, Kilo Shebef, why did Bilikesu have to do that? Anyway, I will go back to the reaction and let you know what people are saying about this incident. She's also said to have ignored the elderly man as he repeatedly told her she was hurting him. At a point, Olagunju tells him, maybe I will beat you up, I will flog you, I will take you to the GP, get injection, I will call the police for you. She was filmed in the victim's home on Christmas Eve in the year 2022 on a camera set up by his son, Chris. The following day, Mr. Attard was found unresponsive with blood dripping down the side of his face. The pensioner was rushed to the hospital where he remained unresponsive and died 10 days after the incident. Olagunju pleaded guilty to one-count charge of ill-treating or willfully neglecting an individual while acting as a care worker. She has now been given a 6-week prison sentence, suspended for 18 months, while also being ordered to carry out 50 hours unpaid work at Woolwich Crown Court in southeast London. Speaking after hearing the victim's son, Chris Attard condemned her sentence as an insult. He said although a post-mortem could not prove it, he felt Olagunju's action had directly contributed to his father's sudden decline and death. He said if those cameras had not been there, that person could still be out there treating elderly people like this. I was expecting a suspended sentence, but the lengthy and the community service aspect is an insult. What kind of deterrent is that? The court received a breakdown of CCTV footage, beginning with Olagunju's arriving at 11:20 with the job of washing Mr. Attard and making him breakfast. After shouting at him to stand, he sleep on the floor, and as he struggled to dress him, she is seen stripping him in front of a window in full view of the street. The carer is also shown dragging him by arm and scruff of his collar across the floor and yanking him up, causing a great distress, the court was told. At the point, the defendant is heard calling her employer to explain that Mr. Attard was on the floor and was advised not to touch him and to call an ambulance. The defendant ignores this request and instead continued to haul him up herself while complaining a man should have been sent to do the job. She is also seen in the footage taunting Mr. Attard by pouring marmalade into his coffee despite knowing he was diabetic and threatening to flog him. Chris Attard said he was horrified how visibly dressed his father looked throughout, describing his face as distorted while being manhandled. He added, "She's physically trying to lift him like a rag doll." His face indicates the discomfort and pain he's feeling. She lifts him off the floor, dragging him towards his armchair. He tells her, "My head is banging." The carer is heard on the footage saying to Mr. Attard, "Me, I'll flog you. I will flog you later," adding, "Maybe I will beat you up. Maybe I will flog you, take you to the hospital, take you to the GP, give you injection and the police." She is repeatedly told by Mr. Attard throughout, "You are hurting me." The footage shows her making breakfast while continuing to threaten violence and picking up a plastic marmalade, such as squeezing its content into his coffee. So it was like this. And let me give you some reaction. There's a reaction on X that says she might be so stressed herself, but that is not an acceptable excuse. To practice nursing, you have to be genuinely kind, caring, compassionate, and empathic. Patients are ill and will choose to be well if they had a choice. The fact is, we are human and may have our own moment, but always remember that there's a code of conduct that guides us. And once signed up, you cannot take your frustration out to work on your patient. Leave all at home and demonstrate that you are competent in your role. If stressed, take time off. You are not forced to work. If your mental health is at stake, this case was complete wickedness. Imagine you are the patient. Will you enjoy being dragged, or how will you feel seeing someone dragging your parent? That may even lead to ending that patient's life if care is not taken. That is one of the comments. Know what your profession entails. This is another person speaking here. Before taking up the nursing job, it is not all about money. Mental health nurses especially get into situations that sometimes makes us feel sick. We get spat on, scratched, punched, accused falsely, bullied by patients, their families, even by your bosses. All you can do is to exercise enough patience and follow procedure that may even end up not in your favor. So this guy actually works in the care sector, so that's why he knows what goes on there. If you find yourself in a dilemma, what will you do? End the career that you have put in so much to, or just accept your fate and keep going on, or press charges and if lucky, get awarded a compensation. Think twice before going into nursing. You have to be kind, passionate, friendly, even if you dislike the person. Get ready to accept all form of abnormal treatment or just smile over it. Even that smile could get you in trouble. We get no praises, except it's real circumstances, but we always be watched like a big brother house to make mistake and get struck off. Why not be careful not to make mistakes? Then error are inevitable, but mistakes can be avoided. Care and proper training, but intentional misbehavior is highly unacceptable. And be ready to fix the consequences. This is a lesson for all. even if there are no cameras, have a good conscience and treat your patient right. Borokini, Bimi, Ogundimu. So that is what happened to Bilikesu Olagunju. And I need to just let you know, because we are all here trying to find what we're gonna eat, and that's important to us. So you have to be careful in whichever job you take upon yourself. So far that you signed up that you're going to do the job, please do it properly, not to end up being embarrassed or end up in prison. Learn from this, and I know Bilikesu herself has regretted her action according to what I learned.
Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so you won't miss out any of our latest video.